those will be nice.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm taking you guys along with me on my 16-hour Singapore Airlines business class flight out of San Francisco. After we got through airport security, we went to the Polaris Lounge where we relaxed a bit and had some snacks and drinks. Next thing you know, we were boarding the flight. This was my first time on business class, let alone a 16-hour business class flight, so I was so excited. I know Singapore Airlines is very famous and well known for their incredible service and amenities on their business class, so me and my husband were just so ecstatic we could not wait to get on. Felt like your own little spaceship pod, which was so cool. I liked all the nooks and crannies where you could put your personal belongings. This was a huge fold-out dining tray that we will definitely be seeing later. It also included a blanket, socks, and slippers. I also wanted to show you guys how much legroom I had. I am 5'7" for reference, and I still had so much room for my legs in the back if I was any taller. This is me and my husband getting acquainted and looking at everything. We had so much fun. This is also a little separation wall just in case you don't know your neighbor next to you, which was really nice. Right before we even took off, the flight attendant offered us either champagne, orange juice, or apple juice. Already such a great start to a long journey to Singapore. Here I am looking at the endless list of movies they had to offer. They had such a diverse selection. I think I watched a total of 4 movies on the way over and like 5 movies on the way back. Now we're getting to the fun part, the menu for the flight. So detailed and everything sounded so delicious. You guys can definitely pause and read what they were serving for our flight, but literally everything sounded so yummy. They were going to be serving 2 meals on this flight. First dinner, since it was a nighttime flight when we started, and then breakfast as we got closer to Singapore during the morning. And of course, any refreshments or drinks in between, you could just always ask yourself, or they would come around once in a while to make sure you were all good, which was super nice. Shortly after we took off, dinner was beginning to start. She pulled out the table and started setting up with a whole tablecloth and all the silverware and plates to go along with it. It felt so luxe, and the attention to detail was just a 10 out of 10. These little butters were so cute as well. We started with a salad that was pretty good. I remember it being some sort of mixed greens with some nuts and I think a little bit of fruit and a very light vinaigrette. She then came around and offered a selection of bread, and I have countlessly heard how amazing Singapore Airlines garlic bread is, so I knew I had to try it. Of course though, when she came around, it was so popular that she didn't have any on her current plate, so she just had her colleague bring me one a few minutes later. It definitely lived up to the hype, so garlicky, and the bread was perfectly crisp. This was my husband's choice, which was a fish, and it was so incredibly tender. I am a soup girl, of course, so you know I had to order the wonton noodle soup, and it even came with some tasao on top, which was so yummy. Something about slurping noodles thousands of feet up in the air is honestly therapeutic. The noodles were springy and bouncy, held so much of the umami broth flavor. The star of the show were the shrimp wontons, plump and full of that yummy shrimp flavor. I could have eaten like 10 of these. I served up a plate for my husband right away because I knew he would love it, and he also loved the chasao as well. I finished up the main course while watching this movie, We Live in Time. Guys, it was so good but so sad. I thought Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield did such a good job acting in this movie. Let me know if you've seen it down below. After the main course came fruit and dessert. Some of the fruit I think wasn't in season. It was still good, don't get me wrong, but some, like this cantaloupe, was super ripe and juicy. I was so surprised. I chose the Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream to end off dinner, and you literally can't go wrong with this. This mixed with a fruit combo was so yummy and the perfect way to end off the dinner portion.
Cool. Yeah, some of those will be nice.
After watching the movie for a little more, it was definitely the middle of the night. They dimmed the cabin lights super low and went around to start folding the chairs into a bed. It was so nice to be able to fully lay down and watch a movie. It was so crazy. I started a new movie, one of my all-time favorites, The Proposal. My flight attendant also offered me another drink. I think this one was a mocktail. It was super fruity and refreshing and light. I loved it. I then slept for the next couple of hours. It was so peaceful, and you really felt like you were in your own little bubble because of how private it was. Especially if you wore headphones, it was like extra silent and you were just in your own little world. I loved it. Next thing I know, like literally 12 hours had passed. I slept for a good amount of time, and then it was time for breakfast. So we started off with some fresh fruit again, which I love, and then I chose this Chobani yogurt to go along with it. Super simple, super yummy. Another selection of breads came around, this time different than the previous dinner selection. This one was more breakfast themed, like croissants, mini fruit danishes, and other types of like breakfasty breads you would accept. I love the croissant that I chose. It tasted very fresh and so flaky. I was actually really surprised at how good it was considering it was something so simple, but they really nailed it about it being so buttery. For my main breakfast course, I chose the dim sum plate that had radish cake, pork and vegetable dumpling, and shumai as well. It also came with this spicy sauce on the side, which kind of tasted like sriracha, and I love a spicy moment, so it was like the perfect pairing. This was absolutely hands down my favorite meal I had on the plane. It was so comparable to actual dim sum I've had in restaurants. I grew up eating homemade radish cake from my grandma who made it all the time, so I would say I'm a pretty good critic when it comes to authentic yummy radish cake, and this one was so flavorful and not soggy at all. This was my husband's breakfast. He decided to go for more of an American continental style breakfast. I didn't get to try it because I was getting so full from mine, but he said it was very good as well. Clearly, you can tell all the food on Singapore Airlines is just amazing overall. The shumai was very yummy, really nice texture to it, full of pork and extra good, dipped in a little hot sauce. This is me watching like my 4th movie on this flight. This one was called Heretic. It's a really good thriller movie, highly recommend. And then after every meal, you get some wipes, so I'm wiping off my hands, and I basically just relaxed the rest of the flight, took it all in, finished up my movie. All the crew members were so beyond nice and attentive, and it really made the 16 hours go by so fast. It was such an amazing experience on Singapore Airline business class. I definitely will be flying with them again. Now we have finally landed in Singapore to start off our honeymoon. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming travel videos. And don't forget to also follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!